Upset alert, don't mean to scare anyone, but Pete Blackburn has the Winnipeg Jets knocking off the Vegas Golden Knights in round 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. The 8 seed over the 1 seed. There's a chance every year, but Pete, why do you like the Jets over the Golden Knights?
Because the Jets have kind of flipped the script a little bit, right? Where in the years past, they've been a highly offensive team that has bled chances in their own end, not been good enough defensively, and relied on Connor Hellebuyck to make up that difference. This year, their offensive results aren't quite as good as we've grown to understand from Winnipeg, but they are a better defensive team, and Connor Hellebuyck is still that goaltender. And so, when I look at the matchup here, I think Vegas, if they're able to open this up and turn it into a track meet, that they're going to have a really good time and a good opportunity to win this series. But I do think that Winnipeg has a decent opportunity to slow this game down and kind of methodically beat the Golden Knights and take advantage of what they lack in net. Obviously goaltending has been somewhat of an issue for Vegas this year, and so I think that there's a big gap between Connor Hellebuyck and what Vegas has. So that's a big difference maker for me. I'm going to say when it comes down to a 7-game series, I take the team with the best goaltender, and that's the Jets, and I'm going to pick the Jets in 7.
We've been saying all year, no chance the Golden Knights can win based on their goaltending. Go back to our season predictions back in October. We were like, Logan Thompson, no way the Golden Knights have a chance. And at every stop, whether it was the goaltending, then next for me was the injuries. I was like, can this Golden Knights team even hang on to a playoff spot? They've fended off everyone at every turn, whether it was setting an NHL record with 4 consecutive wins with 4 different goalies in net this year, or Mark Stone missing a huge chunk of this season, their captain with an injury. They had some other injuries to Jack Eichel and others. Every time the Golden Knights find a way. So I'm not willing to bet against this team, especially against the Jets one that was really average and mediocre. And you could say, yeah, they had their moments this year, up until January atop the Central Division standings, and they did. But the way that they played over these last number of months, the Jets' biggest enemy was themselves, whether it was their compete level, whether it was their attention to detail and their focus. And they basically got into the Stanley Cup playoffs on the back of Connor Hellebuyck. And I just don't know that he's strong enough to carry them all the way to a conference final again, where these two teams met in 2018.
I mean, you're not wrong in the sense that the Jets were pretty mediocre for most of this year, and I feel more comfortable taking the mediocre team than the team that was extremely streaky, and you don't know which one you're going to get at the outset of a playoff series. So, if the Golden Knights start off this series playing like the worst version of themselves and they lose the first couple of games, you're in a deep hole that's extremely tough to come back from. And, depending on whether we see Mark Stone in this series or not, and who he is after not playing since January, that makes a world of difference, because this is a much more dangerous team if Mark Stone is even close to healthy. But I don't have a lot of confidence in that, so I am going to give the edge to Winnipeg in a 7-game series.
All right, so Pete's got the Jets in 7. I've got the Golden Knights in 6. And a lot riding on this for the Winnipeg Jets. Perhaps the last time we see this core together as assembled, Blake Wheeler, Mark Scheifele, and company, and an unknown commodity in Nikolai Ehlers and his health, which could also loom large in this first round matchup.